Hey everybody, how you doing today? I can't tell because it's a podcast. This is a podcast. It's the Common Briefing Program, part of the Common Geeking Program, where each month we try to review geek news, bringing you the hottest headlines and ultimately trying to decide what we think is the most impactful, important, or interesting story for geeks around the world to know and follow. I am Colin. I am apparently high energy for the first time all week, and it is making it difficult to talk. I am joined by fellow correspondents.
I am Jeff. I am the usual amount of energy, probably. I don't know. We'll see how the day goes.
Doesn't seem like it.
I'm Chowder. I am Austin. Whichever. I'll be everyone if you want me to.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Tamo or Chowder, whichever you prefer. I am just looking through some Kickstarters because I kind of forgot to do that today. So
explains a lot. At least we know it's part of your routine and not just a thing you always have kicking in the back of your head.
It's not a bad thing. There are lots of good Kickstarters, unfortunately.
That's very true. And who's saying that right now?
It's Austin. I'm here. I am procrastinating. I should be working on a lot more things right now, but instead we're here, and that's good because I don't really need to face all of the terrible problems approaching me.
So,
just like in real life.
I like how podcasting is just your tool of procrastination. Glad we can service. So yeah, we're going to be recapping what we think are the biggest or most interesting pieces of geek news from the month of November 2020. Now, this was a crazy month for a lot of other reasons, but we're going to focus on this.
If I fucking remember correctly, the last recording we were doing was like in the election week, so we're different people than we were then.
Jeff is different people. I think the rest of us sort of held it together. Jeff was tail spinning, but we brought him back up, maintaining a cruising altitude, and we're going to talk about some stuff. How you guys, before we jump in, how you guys doing today? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I had some Five Guys, and that's about all I can ask for at this juncture.
That might explain the energy levels.
Chatter, how's it going? How's Kickstarter?
Still looking.
You passive motherfuckers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good, man. And I'll probably talk more about it in How You Doing with Laura, because that's more of a personal conversation thing. But
not as a professional like this one.
Not as editorially sound and integral in its journalistic endeavors. I've gotten so many little gadgets and toys this month just because they all came out this month, and then Black Friday happened. So, yes. And if you'd like to hear the audio only, I can move my microphone around various vibrating objects. No, I got a lot of lights. I got a Roomba, and my cats, of course, hate it. And
excellent.
Some speakers, a phone, and then something else that's gonna go directly into my story, which is a follow-up on 2 briefing programs ago.
Wonder what that could be.
So, in our recap of September, I talked a lot about the console releases and the absolute clusterfuck that was the pre-order and marketing process leading up to their release. I omitted it last month because there wasn't a lot of development, but in November, the biggest developments happened, which is they released... That sounded gross the way I said it.
Yep.
The Xbox
Series
X and the Xbox Series S released on November 10th, and the PlayStation 5 released on November 12th.
Yep.
Now, just as happened with the what happened with the pre-orders, there were a lot of people on launch day trying to get the consoles, but stock is still extremely low. Microsoft's head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has been pretty upfront. He's like, we are probably going to be low or out of stock until like spring. So
excuse me.
Yeah.
Lord.
At least there's been a little transparency about it.
Do they have a cap on how many people can order them, or like how many you can order at once?
That was typically up to the retailer. I know that Microsoft.com did limit it. I don't know about the Microsoft stores, but stores.
But that doesn't stop you from making a bot to order from different websites.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. But it would. I think it would decrease that a little bit, at least.
Apparently, like, scalpers have more consoles than the actual retailers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That absolutely makes sense. I myself, being... I would like to say Xbox stan, but really I'm trapped in the Xbox ecosystem. Someone help me out. I went to order the Xbox, and you can listen to the previous episode of how that went. And then on release day, for the days leading up to it, I was like scouring sites, seeing what the release was going to be. Some sites are like, we're going to unlock them online at this time. Sony actually said across the board there are going to be none available in stores for a COVID precaution. They said we're only going to sell these consoles online. And I was like, that's a good idea. And Microsoft said, everybody fucking fight for it. Individual retailers
fight to the death.
Yeah, individual retailers like Walmart and Best Buy said, like, don't line up, don't come into the store. Best Buy did, like, curbside pickup. And there was one retailer that is known for treating its employees and its customers very well, GameStop. Just kind of did business as usual. So after scouring a bunch of places, after seeing the consoles in person for the first time, and, like, holy cow, I knew that the Series X was big, I knew that the Series S was small, and I knew that the PS5 was big. The Series S, the smallest Xbox ever, is way smaller than I expected, and it was like a cute little thing. The Series X, I was like, that's kind of a tall thing. I see why people compare it to a mini fridge. And then I saw the PS5, and I don't know how. It is. You look at pictures and you think, that's a big boy. It is bigger in person. I don't know how.
What are the actual dimensions of this monster?
It's like 15 inches tall, something like that. Taller, I think. I don't know. It's like 16 by 14 by 4. It's just remarkable
fuck?
How large it is. And because it's all curvy, I don't know. That's not anything to litigate. I was just taken aback at how large it was upon seeing it in person. But over the course of that night, I woke up at midnight to try to order the Xbox. Online. Site was down immediately, of course, for reasons previously discussed. And I was prepared for that eventuality. And at 4:30 or so, I woke up, went to the mall, waited. There were 5 Xbox Series X's at the store where I was waiting. They had it listed on a sign, and I was person number 4. So, yeah. So I made it out with an Xbox Series X, and I was very happy. And after using it, it's pretty good. And that, I think, is kind of the sentiment that is really encapsulating this whole thing. After all the hullabaloo, after all the mismanagement, there's not a lot of, oh, this Xbox is great, or the PS5 is earth-shattering. It's like, no, it's pretty good. Because really the most tangible difference is the solid-state drives on these things. They have significantly faster read and write speeds. That means loading times are very, very fast. I saw a great tweet that said, sorry if I'm not responding to my texts, loading screens basically don't exist anymore. And I was like, that's a funny joke. That's a funny joke. And then I actually stopped texting people back because I look at my phone and then the game's ready to go. And I'm like, oh, shit, fuck, all right.
That's wild.
Overall, reception of both consoles, I guess all 3, has been pretty warm. The PlayStation 5 winning a lot of praise for its controller and the adaptive triggers, which can adjust the amount of tension it requires to pull them, and has like a Nintendo HD Rumble style feedback in them. So people say like drawing bows and arrows on them is really cool. PlayStation's there's a game called, I think it's Astro's Playroom, and it's just like this cute little game platformer where you play as this cute thing, and the vibration is like really heavily utilized. But to me, that reads like a lot of the Nintendo tech demos we see. Like, Nintendo made the Wii U look cool at first, and then nobody cared about the things the Wii U did, and those tech demos disappeared. Yeah. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to start seeing support for this sort of thing by third-party developers. And beyond that, really, between the two of them, it's been kind of the same across the board. PS5 is selling more because it's the PS5. There has been so little to say since then. On the Xbox side of things, I can say they've added the EA Play subscription to Game Pass Ultimate. So, like, the day that the Xbox Series X came out, there are suddenly 60 games, including, like, Jedi Fallen Order, that are just on Game Pass, and that's amazing. But this has been maybe the least big deal launch that I've seen in a long, long time. And I think part of that is just a lot of people still can't get them.
Yeah, but I
which
think
is kind of a shame.
Kind of makes it a big deal for other reasons.
Well, that's the because it has a reduced impact, because the consumers that want to use this thing can't use this thing. There is just inherently less conversation about it. And the people that have them, like myself, I'm very fortunate to have one. I am blown away at how quickly I can get into games. I love that when I'm playing Destiny with Austin, I can start playing levels like a good minute or so before he can, and he just has to sit with a black loading screen. That's fun to me. The fact that fast travel in video games is actually fast, like, this is a meaningful upgrade for console owners, and I think it really. They really finally make clear the idea that if you do not want to build a PC, if you do not want to pay to build a superior machine, these are a significant improvement over the last ones. But until more people can get them, I don't know how much there is to say.
Yeah.
I
really hope that, like, people don't pay scalper prices for them and just like let all the scalpers kind of like only make a little bit of a profit for it, to the point where it wouldn't be worth it, or having to sell them cheaper because they bought too much stock. It's just like, this fucking just scummy shit.
Yeah, I mean, we did see, Jeff, one of the scalpers, actually this was a scalper who had bought mainly PS5s, I think. But there has to be more shit like this. Like, this one scalper literally like posted his stock, like a picture of his stock on Twitter, said fuck your feelings, and wanted to charge like a 100% markup, and then like he got robbed. He got doxxed and robbed. Like,
Yeah.
got earned there.
Robbed?
Yeah.
Like physically robbed, or like?
Yeah, like someone doxed him, and then this other person said, I have a gun and I'm gonna rob this guy, essentially. And and yeah, some other person drove to this dude's fucking house or his garage or whatever and stole his shit.
I wonder I wonder if they then went and scalped them, or if there was just like a fucking PS5 Robin Hood situation where
I would love to know, but I
went and sold them for fair prices.
From the dicks and give to the poor.
You'd still be.
Yeah, it's a huge profit if you sell them for fair prices at that point.
Right.
You could do half price and you'd make a profit, because you stole from an asshole. Getting back to the whole Wii U. Will it turn out like the Wii U kind of situation?
Oh, God.
Historically speaking, the consoles that succeed are the ones that are easy to develop for. Like, the PS2, in comparison to the Xbox and the GameCube, was actually weaker. But, like, it was because of DVD technology, it was just infinitely easy to develop for that than the other two consoles. The PS3 was a nightmare because the architecture was just so much for any developer to deal with. So the Wii 360 there, and
a lot of people like to blame the PS3 for its high starting price, but really it was the fact that it was it just took a lot more time for people to build stuff, and time is money.
Yeah. So it's, I get the feeling that like the rising cost of development for console games, PS5 and Xbox Series X, gonna be the problem, because with like PC development, you can try, you don't have to be on the cutting edge with every game you make, and with the Switch, it's just not powerful enough to be on the cutting edge, and its main gimmick is portability and ease of play. That's what those bring to the table. So time will tell if like their extra power is a boon or
the reason
curse.
The reason I'm a little curious is because we're getting to the point where, and it's been happening for a long time, like especially since the Xbox One and PS4 dropped, they're both running the same x86 architecture that most Windows computers run on. And so porting things back and forth has been a lot easier since then. They're now running custom chips, but again, built on the same architecture as each other. The interesting thing, though, is that for first-party support, you know that Sony is going to say, hey, we have these interesting features on our controller, utilize them. And we're going to see those first-party titles from Sony take those things into play. There's also a lot of UI things, new cards and means of like jumping into games right away that are pretty novel. But the fact is, if you're comparing specs, the Xbox Series X is more powerful and is already sort of has the reputation of, if you just want to play cross-platform games, go with the Xbox. That's not going to drive a lot of sales right up front, but that is going to be something that developers pay attention to. When porting from one to the other is easy, but the PS5 has a couple extra boxes to tick, I worry that we're going to see, like what happened with the Wii U, where there's this pretty cool feature of the extra gamepad and the extra screen that is just not going to be utilized by developers because it, to them, is a waste of money. It is just a box to tick that's not worth ticking. And as time goes on, we'll see how this...
Ease of portability is definitely going to help. And with the Wii U, the other problem was that, like...
It wasn't that, yeah.
You just couldn't think... You just couldn't... Developers just couldn't think about how to use the gamepad in novel ways. And which is fair. Kind of hard to work around in comparison to motion.
And all things considered, I think that the PS5 DualSense controller is maybe the most interesting innovation. The Microsoft's biggest thing is, I think, right now, the Game Pass library and the sheer power of its hardware and the affordable price of the Series S.
Yeah, the Game Pass library,
they can leverage that as a platform.
I really do like that. That makes gaming just more accessible to people, and that's just
it does. And I'll say, as someone who has it, like, I'm playing games that I never would have touched otherwise, and it's wonderful. But I think that we still, to really get the most interesting stories out of this, adoption is going to have to pick up. For adoption to pick up, well, availability is going to have to pick up. So we're in it now, but it's not quite where I thought we'd be. That said, I like my Xbox, and I'm sure everyone with a PS5 is liking their PS5. So that's all I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to kick it on over to Jeff.
All right. Yeah, it's been a kind of a light news month for me. Oh, well, geek news. It's been pretty heavy in terms of other news, I would say. So I've got a few sort of headlines that could spark some discussion, but might not. In terms of Transformers-related things, there has been a director attached to the second Bumblebee movie. Is going to be Stephen Capel Jr. I think the only significant thing that he's directed is the second Creed movie, which seemed like it was fairly well received. I don't know anything about the fucking Rocky goddamn franchise.
The second Creed movie was pretty good. So was the first Creed movie. They're good boxing movies, man. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that's something that it does. So it seems like that's going to be the next live action Transformers movie that they're going with. And they still have the quote unquote live action Beast Wars movie somewhere in the mix, but that one might be sidelined for this one to come out first. So that's something. Literally anything at all, that is. The second season of The Mandalorian started airing this month, and it's pretty good. I like it. Does anyone give a shit about spoilers in terms of people that show up in it?
No,
at this point.
I think I've already heard the spoilers about this stuff.
I haven't been watching season 2, but
I'm mostly asking.
Heads up to those listening that haven't been caught up.
Yeah. Skip ahead about a minute just to be safe.
Yeah. So two characters that were introduced in the Clone Wars series have made their live action debut, being Bo-Katan, who is a Mandalorian person, and more importantly and exciting, I would say, is Ahsoka Tano has made her live action debut, and it was pretty good episode. I'm not like a huge fan of the prosthetic that they used on the actress. Her name is Rosario Dawson. Yeah, just because like it's a little bit inconsistent with her more recent animation appearances in that her like head tails are a lot shorter, which I think they just had to do in terms of like the prop being usable with all the like Jedi choreography, because
maybe that's what happens when you have a character completely in an animation space for 10 years, and then you're like,
Yep.
oh crap, how do you do it real?
I mean, it's a little strange to me, I guess, because like the species that Ahsoka Tano was like
They were in the prequels.
A nameless background Jedi. Well, she's got a name now, but in the movie she was nameless. Shakti, a background Jedi in the original, prequel trilogy. So it's like that prop does exist, but they probably got away with it being a background character. So, and like and especially since like the prequel trilogy was so like sort of CGI heavy, whereas like the Mandalorian is very purposefully like everything is done super fucking practically. I mean, aside from the whole like goddamn holographic background or whatever, but in terms of like the characters, they wanted everything to feel more like the original movies, so it's like a lot of puppetry and props and stuff like that. So I understand it. I'm a little bit sad that they couldn't make the longer head tails work, but at the end of the day, it's not really that big a deal.
Someone will deep fake it in later. It's fine.
But yeah, no, it was a good episode that she showed up in, and she'll probably be in more. That was just the most recent episode as of when we were recording this. Is the first one that she showed in, and then
very nice.
The other piece of not really media, but fucking like yesterday, as of recording, formerly Ellen, now Elliot Page, came out as transgender. That's pretty cool.
Saw that, yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say about that. Good for him, but
Yeah, my initial thought was like they're part of the ongoing Umbrella Academy show, which has that been renewed for season 3?
I think so. Yeah, I was thinking like, Elliot Page was in X-Men and is now in Umbrella Academy, so this technically qualifies as geek news, I guess.
Well, no, the interesting thing is I read that Netflix, for anything that they've partnered with Elliot with, they're actually going back and updating some of the titles and credits to.
Oh yeah, that's kind of nice.
Really?
Actually,
I like it.
Yeah. Actually, that was something that I was thinking about bringing up, but I wasn't going to. But it seems like, with regards to like their dealings with individual artists and stuff, Netflix seems to be doing very well when compared to other streaming services. And stuff. Because I saw a show, the Dave Chappelle thing earlier this month. That he gave this. It was kind of like a show, but kind of a just a speech about how he signed this shitty contract when he was a kid, when he was like, 19 or 20 or some shit, when he was young Dave Chappelle. Or he could have been like 25. I don't know. Still, not super, he was told that this was a good contract, but then,
Was it with Viacom? Is that right? For the Dave Chappelle
show? For the Chappelle show, right.
Yeah.
And, but now they went and they turned around and sold the Chappelle show to a bunch of streaming services and stuff, including, people who had previously turned him down when he was trying to get the Chappelle show on TV. And he was pissed off by that, especially because I don't think he was even getting, royalties or anything. Yeah. So, but then he asked Netflix to take it down, and they just said they would, and they did, I think. So that's cool.
Well, I mean, they also have like a working relationship with Dave Chappelle because he does a bunch of Netflix exclusive like shows and stuff like that. So like,
but like it was not within their.
Yeah, it is nice that it's like the right thing to do, but like it's also like I can see business reasons why that would make sense for them to do as well. But it's nice to see like even if it's for business reasons, it's nice to see companies making morally correct decisions about stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to say it's a business decision, I think that I would probably say that it's not, in virtue of them doing it for business reasons. I don't think that it's necessarily the moral choice for them to make. It's like doing the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Correct. I'm like, Austin's gears are turning.
No. But I'm just thinking like it's regardless of like that. It's I hearing about the Elliot Page like updating old names in like credits and stuff. That. I don't know, that makes it sound like they are just trying to like foster these good relationships with people who they work with instead of just straight up
fucking people over.
Because just doing the minimum legal requirements to work with people. I don't know.
So that's about all I really had this month, and that there wasn't really a ton that happened. We've seen some more like images of upcoming Transformers figures, but nothing like really groundbreaking enough to be worth sharing with you guys.
Well, let's kick it over to Chowder, who I believe was third in our order here.
That's
Chowder,
true.
well, have you found the answers you were looking for on Kickstarter.com?
Yeah. I found what I'm looking for. I don't actually know what the YouTube song is. Anyway.
That's close enough.
Close enough.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So no, that is incorrect. YouTube is incorrect. Fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you, Bono. Anyways.
All right. Okay, I guess that's the position this show is taking.
All right. So I guess I'll just start with the Kickstarter since that's what's in front of me right now. But
mood,
first thing I saw was, or I want to talk about, is Decline's Drop, which is this 2D platformer, and it's got this really nice art style, very pleasing to the eye. It's very reminiscent of Yoshi's Island, actually. It's a 2D platformer about a puppet who wants to avenge her destroyed garden.
Wait, what's it called?
Decline's Drop. So DECLINE, comma S drops. Yep, and yeah, no, it's just a very cute looking game, very quirky. It's got realistic goals. Some of the features, it's got like 6 worlds with each with 8 stages. That's 6 times 8. That's 48.
48.
Welcome to the counting geeking program.
We clearly aren't.
We
clearly aren't math geeks here, but yeah, no.
I was just waiting for you to get there yourself. I knew the answer immediately. Excuse me.
Hold the fuck up! I got the answer. Don't act like I was dumb. But yeah, you can check that out. That's their Twitter is, oh my god. It's French.
Wow, lucky them for getting that.
No, it's French. It's French. So Molino Boulis, at MOULINAUXBULLES. That's the Declines Drops Kickstarter. Yeah, the dev is French, so like I don't know how to
checks out
pronounce Drazglb. DRAZGLB, but that's the guy who's developing it. I'm guessing that's like a username of sorts, not his actual name, which is Mark, I believe. God damn you.
Maybe it's Drazg Pound. Did you ever think about that? It ends with LB.
That muddies the waters.
It wouldn't be Pound. He's French. He'd use metric.
I know.
Yes, Mark is his name. It's cute, it's quirky, it's got, if you like Yoshi's Island, you'll probably like this. Declines Drop. The next thing I want to talk about is that there's a translation project of the book Goodnight Moon, and I know that's not...
Ooh, what?
Yeah, like, if anyone remembers reading that as a kid, I think that's kind of interesting because, like, translating is kind of an art form in and of itself because
what are they translating it to?
Oh, did I not say they're translating it to Armenian?
No.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, you did not. It was very vague, and my mind ran wild with the possibilities. But we've settled on Armenian, so more details.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be translated in both Western and Eastern Armenian, which apparently it has 2 different dialects, and. Like I said, I think that's interesting because, like, translation is an art form in and of itself because words don't always carry over from one language to the other exactly the same. So you have to work around that. And with, like, more obscure languages that people don't see as profitable to translate into, it's, I think, worth doing just to preserve those. Yeah.
Now, is that done by, like... Was that initiative started by the original authors, or like why was Goodnight Moon of all things picked for that?
I'm reading through this
not
right
that
now.
Not that it's a bad thing.
It's just good literature.
Like, I could see if it was like, oh, there's an initiative to, like, you know, translate a bunch of different children's books, including Goodnight Moon, but, like, specifically just Goodnight Moon, that seems like, I mean, it's fine. It's as fine as any child's book to translate. I'm just wondering how they landed on that one.
Yeah, I mean, and, like, the reason I'm even talking about this is, like, recently I was talking my cousin, and we were, like, arguing what the meaning of a Bengali word, what the Bengali word for liver, right? And it was like, the word is golija, by the way, and like the way we.
Well, wait a minute. I want to hear both sides. What was your cousin saying it was?
Well, no. That's the thing. Like, the way I've heard the word, I've heard it used to for multiple different kinds of organs, from hearts to lungs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so I thought the word meant organs. My cousin's like, it means liver. Eventually, like, we ask my uncle, and he explains that it does mean liver, but we just kind of use it for cooked hearts as well. And it's like, and then I'm like, wait, so what's the Bengali word for heart? And he says, if we have to talk about the heart, we just use the English word heart. But there had to have been a word we used for heart before English. Well, the English were ruling Bangladesh for 200 years. Yeah, but there was a time before that. And eventually he just explains that the word's kind of been lost. And
he says nobody took the time to translate Goodnight Moon into Bengali, so we lost that particular word.
Yeah.
No. And, like, the way Bengali is, like, yeah, there's plenty of Bengali words, but, like, also, it'll also just mix in words from Hindu, Urdu, English, and Arabic. And so, like, a lot of Bengali speakers won't know certain Bengali words. Like, the example he used is kedaro, chair, and most Bengali speakers wouldn't know what kedara means, and they'd usually just use, like, the Hindu or English. And like, it kind of strikes me that Bengali is a dying language. So it's like, yeah, no, any attempt to, like, keep a language alive is super worthy, even if it's in a very strange format as this book that, like, Goodnight Moon.
That's pretty
That's
freaking
cool.
cool.
I mean, it's also interesting just because, like, I haven't really considered, like, languages that are not used enough to the point where, like, a lot of media probably just, like, isn't translated over to it, which means, like, for people who only speak that language, their consumption of media must be, like, a lot more limited in access to the rest of the world. I mean, I guess it's also probably true that there are fewer people that only speak Armenian because...
exactly.
The reality is they probably have picked up a second language, a second more commonly used language. Like Bangladesh, a lot of Bengali people will have knowledge in both Hindu and English because it's just something you need to have, and like, in doing that, those other languages tend to phase out the more obscure language. Yeah,
that makes sense.
And it's also like, you don't have a Bengali language authority like the fucking French do for French.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's also just, like, part of the Imperial Project anyway, but, like, you know, you could hypothetically prevent words getting lost by some sort of social institution like that, but, like, who fucking does that? The French. Do you want to emulate the French? Probably not.
I mean, considering that they're, like, marking Muslims in their country with a mark.
Are they?
They're going full Nazi Germany here.
Great. Well, at least France is less of a threat to deal with.
Well, yeah, I mean, to us, but look at us. Yeah. So I don't,
Yeah.
In less depressing news, Blossom Detective Holmes, which had a Kickstarter a few years back.
That was a killer segue.
Excuse me?
Let's ignore the looming mechanisms for genocide and talk about Blossoms.
Blossom Detective Holmes. It has nothing to do with the Powerpuff Girls, I see.
To be fair, that's pretty much just what this show is let's ignore the limiting mechanisms of genocide and talk about Blossom Detective Holmes.
For the last hold on. I need to fix something. I forgot I have automation on my speakers and Christmas music is about to start playing.
Oh God.
Give me just a moment.
In your home where you live, you do that?
It was a specific thing I did as like to surprise my girlfriend, and I forgot to turn it off, and she just got home, and now my room is green. Continue.
Wait. No. This triggers when she got home, or specifically at 4:43 p.m.
When she gets home, not specifically.
Okay.
That would be wild.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Okay.
All right,
Chowder, I'm sorry.
A few years back, Steve On, one of lead director on shows like Legend of Korra and Voltron.
Nice.
Voltron Legendary Defenders. Well,
yeah,
I always forget like the little
sure
subtitle of the okay. Voltron Legendary Defenders.
It might be singular. Legendary Defender. I don't know. Whatever. Continue on. Sorry.
He started a Kickstarter for
my God.
His own series called Blossom Detective Holmes, making on his own time.
That's a big undertaking.
Yeah, it is. That's why it took a few years, man. And
wow.
And you know, and now like it's premiering with like 6 mini episodes on YouTube. It's already got 3 out, and so like I'm just saying this because hey, check out Blossom Detective Holmes because it's pretty cool. It's about like these 2 kids who are detectives and who get themselves in like crazy situation. It's rad. I like it.
Nice.
The last thing I want to talk about is they announced that coming to the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in 2021, summer of 2021, The World Ends With You 2, which is like, what? That's getting a sequel? Hell yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that's like a game by Square Enix made by the same guy who made Kingdom Hearts, Tetsuya Nomura, and like, yeah, no, that game came out first came out on the DS 10 years ago, and
yeah, it's old enough to call it a throwback, I think, at this point. Wait, what?
Or over.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, and like, it looks rad as hell. They've managed to translate the 2D illustrations into a 3D art style really well. And 2, it just looks rad as hell. Like, it's urban punk rock, high fashion style look is just rad as hell. And I'm just glad to see that again. So it's got a funky saw, man. What can I say? And that is
it's rad as hell. That's what you can say. You've said it.
And that is all I got to talk about. Yeah.
Nice.
The
Very
Kickstarter
nice.
stuff took longer than I expected, but yeah.
We got into a great like philological discussion about the nature of language, which is what I just said anyways. That was redundant, and then genocide. But we quickly pivoted back to Kickstarter, and now we're going to pivot again to Austin.
Yeah, okay, I want to get this one out of the way. There's a fucking rumor that Elden Ring was going to be released in March 2021, but there's no like actual date or anything, so
Oh boy.
It's more nothing, just out of the way.
At this point, I
Anywho,
hope that game never comes out so I can just keep hearing
God, there's not even that much to continue talking about if they keep like putting it off. If they put it off until like 2022, everyone's gonna forget that it exists. Anyway, that's a lie.
That's what happened to Cyberpunk.
I mean, to be fair,
and now Cyberpunk's finally about to come out, so we'll see.
I mean, to be fair, Sekiro didn't come out that long ago, so, you know, games take a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. The problem is not that it is taking a long time for Elden Ring to come out. The problem is that there has been no news about it since it was announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad feel when a game is like, check out this awesome thing, and then they go dark. That's a bad feel.
Yeah. That's all. But anyway, so I hate to be...
It's going swimmingly.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's a lot of oh, you know, there's a lot of bad news. So this month, so apparently it's actually over. The evil has been defeated. Supernatural has ended.
Oh my god!
This past month.
I was like, where are you going with this?
So
You had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
yeah, so I don't even know. I'm gonna say things and that I've said to you guys before, I think once, because it happened when this came up earlier in the month. I was like, yeah, this is fucking all over social media for me. I haven't watched this show since I was in high school or something, and
I
like,
did not know this many people were still watching Supernatural. Like,
yeah, fucking same, right?
I was seeing a surprising number of people on my social media talking about like DSTL, and I was like, you do not strike me as the kind of person that would like fucking.
I've never seen an episode. I know nothing about the show, so particular name crossing social media just left me in a stupor for 2 days.
Yeah, so let's do some quick explanation for you, Colin.
Thank you.
Supernatural, if you don't know, it's the show about these two adult brothers, Sam and Dean. They hunt monsters. It turns into them really mostly hunting demons and stuff, and it's just everything turns very oddly Christian. They get possessed and they're sent to hell and shit, and they come back, and so there's a particular relationship. No, there's a particular relationship that has become very popular among like people in the Supernatural fandom, because as you may imagine, being a CW show, etc., Supernatural has two main characters who are men. It has some other tertiary characters who are men. It has no good female characters. All of them either don't get fleshed out, or they die, or they don't get fleshed out and then they die. And so the last episode. So what happened this past month? Which I learned by seeing shit on the internet, is that in the second to last episode, these two characters, there's Castiel. He's an angel who inhabits this dude's body, and he does good stuff with the good guys. There's Dean, who is one of the brothers. A lot of normal, well, I don't know about normal, a lot of human beings who are fans of the show have shipped these two characters. The show never confirmed anything, and it's been accused of, like, queer baiting around the characters. I don't know for a fact that that's what's going on, but I also haven't been watching it, and, I'd fucking believe it. It's a CW show.
I don't know. I feel like it was probably, because, like, I don't think Dean... I mean, it's been a while since I've watched the show. I don't think Dean was written very gay. Like, he's very, like, like...
Oh, yeah. No, I
feel like any hints of stuff between... And this is probably worse, than queer baiting, but any hints between Dean and Cass, I think, was probably supposed to be, like, occasional one-off jokes, which is not great either, but like I don't.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't know.
I think that the stuff that's more queer baity allegedly happened in like way later seasons. This is the end of season 11, I think. By the way, there's like
since like season 8 or something like that.
Yeah. But anywho, so there was the second to last episode that Cass confesses his love for Dean. Dean looks disgusted.
And then Cass
goes now, because of plot reasons... because of plot reasons, Cass was apparently in a state where if he ever felt happiness, he would be teleported to Super Hell and be stuck in Super Hell. Not called Super Hell, but that's just what it is.
My microphone's gain is up enough, but it might have heard the crackling of my eyelids shooting all the way open.
Yeah, so Dean watches Cass confess his love while they're like trapped in this room and they're injured, and like there's the evil's gonna come get them. But then Cass just says that he loves him and he has this speech, and then he immediately gets slurped up by this black goo that teleports him into Super Hell, and that's like that. And then people are like, "Oh my fucking god!" The ship name Dean plus Castiel, they call it Destiel. It's canon, but like it's also extremely the most homophobic way to make it canon.
Yeah.
No, don't worry, it gets better. That's only No, please don't worry. It gets better. That's only
What
the
do you
second
mean
to
it
last
gets
episode.
better?
Because it's not the end of the series. That was the penultimate episode. It's not the finale. In the finale, apparently, it sounds like a fever dream to me. The finale was like even worse than anything that we've seen for these kinds of for these kinds of shows. In that they do a bunch of time skipping to show the other. So sorry. After all of that drama in the last episode, apparently sometime in the future, Dean gets killed accidentally by a vampire in a clown suit, who pushes him into a wall where he gets, like, pierced by a nail or some shit, and he fucking gets impaled and he dies. That just happens.
He doesn't get impaled and dies. I think he dies of tetanus. Isn't that right? I don't know.
I mean, well, yeah, he gets pierced by the nail and he fucking dies because he got pierced by the nail.
So Jocelyn is in the chat right now saying, apparently I'm right. He died of tetanus randomly.
Yeah, so Dean just fucking dies of tetanus, and then they do, like, a little montage to show that Sam continues to live a life without him, eventually dies of old age, I think. But the way that they age up Sam is, like, by putting a bad wig on him. And then, like, they all get to...
Also...
No, it gets better. Okay. In the afterlife, they go to heaven, and Sam and Dean are there. Castiel is not in heaven, not because he's still in super hell, because apparently he, like, helped fix up heaven after the drama of the whole series. He's just not there, but their car is there, the Impala. They have a magical car that is in heaven with them. And that's the show. That's how it ended.
The car is in heaven.
Also...
The car is in heaven.
It's wild for Dean's final fate to be, like, dying of tetanus when, like, in the show, like, just casually in episodes, both Sam and Dean have died before and just been brought back. Because
but it died by much more dangerous things. I mean, also, like, Dean...
And also just, like, there was, like, literally one episode that started by, like, some other hunters who had a fucking pick to... like a fucking gear to grind with them, just like breaks into their motel room and just shoots them with a shotgun, and then the whole episode is like them being in heaven and doing stuff and then getting out of heaven. So it's like, it's wild that there wasn't some like grand you can definitely never come back death for, or like some discussion of don't bring me back this time, just like, no, he just fucking died of tetanus while fighting a vampire. Like, that's wild. I don't know.
God, so wait, are we getting some corrections from Jocelyn right now?
Well, Jocelyn, who's listening to us record, is now arguing with Pat, who is not listening to us record in our Discord, and it's just,
queerbaiting was in the third to last episode.
I am apparently checked out on so many levels, Austin.
That's pretty much all I had to say. Like, that was just a fantastically terrible way to end a show. That was not a great show to begin with. It's
it was good a while ago. It just should have ended like fucking 7 seasons
Austin,
ago.
I wanna do a personal thank you to reaffirming the fact that I've never watched it. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on the show, but I am certain now more than ever that it is not.
The show sounds like a mess.
It does sound pretty fucking bad, but that's like a piece of history right there. I'm a
Star Trek fan. I have standards. So
not like the fun kind of mess,
Do I have something else?
That's a great
Do I have
question.
something else that matters? I talked about...
Do any of us?
There's one thing that's actually kind of weird and not, like, horrifying, but kind of disturbing. So apparently I didn't know about this, but for the past fucking 20 years, this is a real fucking story. Like, the Pokemon... There haven't been Pokemon cards depicting Kadabra because this fucking magician, like, sued Nintendo because this fucking magician Uri Geller sued Nintendo because he does
the fuck up. Specifically Kadabra and not Alakazam, they look the same.
Yes. And this is I can explain why this is. Because apparently it looks like, I'm not sure if this is actually the case, but it fucking held up in court, I guess. It looks like the Japanese name for Kadabra is a play on Geller's name. Because it does.
Lindsay Lohan suing Rockstar for putting her on the cover of Grand Theft Auto when she was.
Kind of. It's Uri Geller, apparently he didn't like that they used his name to turn him into a character who was like occult and evil or some shit. that was his stated thing. I don't think he believes a fucking word of it. But anyway, he recently gave Nintendo permission to use Kadabra on Pokemon cards again. Which is, like, wild that Kadabra hasn't appeared on Pokemon cards in fucking 20 years and I didn't know. I mean, it's not like I play Pokemon, but, like, that's just, it seems like something that we should notice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that...
He's a middle evolution, so he's probably left out. Because he was...
Yeah, because they can do the...
Right?
Yeah, I think so, kind of, but I don't know. It's a wild thing that just came out to me. I don't know. Maybe other people were already aware of this fucking allegedly famous magician. I don't know.
I was aware of that trio being designed after that guy. I did not know that prevented Kadabra from being on Pokemon cards for the past how many years.
Specifically trading cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the trading cards.
Not just the trading cards.
All right.
Yeah, because I mean, Kadabra has still fucking appeared in all the games and in the show several times, I think, but just the trading cards.
Yeah. I don't think we'd notice if he wasn't in the show for all those times either.
True.
Again, middle evolution.
But he
if Kadabra never showed
games.
up in the show, I'm fucking looking it up. Has Kadabra ever showed up in the fucking anime?
Well, Jeff finally does research for the first time out of any of us in this episode. I'm going to put that into the rating section. So here is where we're going to try to break down all the stories that we just shared and figure out what's the biggest one. What is our top story for the month of November 2020 in the realm of geek news? Jeff, feel free to pipe up with those results whenever you have them. The flow of this episode was destroyed long ago. Let's go backwards around the circle. Austin, if you had to pick a story out of all those you've talked about, which do you think you'd nominate?
It looks like Kadabra
right.
was in the original Indigo League.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple other minor appearances after that. So it seems like he's been coming up.
Well, that was worth our time. Austin, what you got? What would you nominate for the top story?
Oh my god. I just fucking time out. I'm not sure. I'm tempted to call all this bullshit about the consoles the biggest story because, like, that's a problem. The whole situation of scalping and trying to sell consoles during a pandemic and shit. But, like, I mean, that's just like a normal capitalism problem anyway, I think.
But not since Ruby and Sapphire. Okay.
You know, I think I am tempted. Yeah, no, I'll go with the console thing for now. Let's see if my mind changes because someone else comes up with a really good reason for something else.
The muddy state of console sales and marketing right now, I think, are a big deal. To be honest, if we're talking about sheer impact, I kind of have to agree. If we're talking about stuff that I was the most interested in... Well, I did check out about 3 or 4 times and just fully started chatting with our friends in the Discord during this episode. The Destille thing does not... Here's the thing. I appreciate that it means a lot to a lot of people, so I'm open to that as an option because of its impacts. But I have no connection to it. Otherwise, the Goodnight Moon thing interested me the most. I don't know how that fits on the scale with everything else. So I guess those are the 3 that I'm looking at. Right now I'm leaning most toward the console thing as well, which I did not expect to, but just because it's still developing, and like we haven't even talked about the new Destiny or any of the new games, because a lot of the games are out. I'm sure we'll get around to that, but... Okay,
so I think, like, there is a silver lining in one of these bad stories that Austin has brought to us, because I think it is very big, significant, and positive news that Supernatural is now over. Until they were like fucking announce some goddamn spinoff, we're done hearing about the fucking Winchesters. So I'm that would be my
might
number
actually
one
pull
choice.
me in that direction, focusing
that would be
on
the number
that
one
aspect
choice.
of it.
But I cannot deny that the fucking clusterfuck of the lack of Xboxes and PlayStations is also quite important. It's probably more important to the most number of people, I would say, but I'm comfortable with going with either of those, but fucking Supernatural is gone, man. That's great.
All right, Chowder, how about you? What you feeling?
For shits and giggles, I'm tempted to just give my vote to the Kadabra shit just for such ridiculous,
Such
pointless
non-story.
bullshit.
Yeah,
No.
it is one of the most mundane legal problems a company could have.
I don't know.
But I'll give my vote to the console. Yeah.
And because we might get to a point in a few months where like I won't be the only person here with experience with them, but for now that's just gonna be what it is. So hey, the current shambles of console sales, but the positive receptions of the ones that have been sold, I suppose is our top story for November. And in December, nothing's probably going to change on that front, so I will have very different things to talk about. But that's it. If you haven't already, take a look at the state of the
Different
console
console things to talk about.
I'll
Anyways,
probably talk about
Hilda
games.
Season 2 comes out on December 15. Go watch that.
Yes.
Good.
What comes out?
Hilda. It's the second
fuck yeah,
time.
I'm
Netflix,
excited
yeah.
about that.
Very cool. Well, you guys can talk about that in our next briefing program, and I look forward to it. But for now, that about wraps it up. We are going to be back in about 2 weeks with an episode of the Common Geeking program proper, where I believe the current idea is going to be I try to recap the movie Tenet for some folks. And here's the thing. Tenet's wild. I can't really say much beyond that. I need to see it again, and it's coming out for home release on December 15th. So I'm going to watch it again because I kind of have to. But I think right now that's the plan for the next episode. So spoilers about... so check in a couple weeks for that.
Cool.
But and then we'll be back next month recapping Geek News for December. But for now, I have been and continue to be Colin Ketchen, and I have been and will not continue to be joined by...
Hi.
What, so that confused me. You won't be continued to be joined by us?
Well, we're
Just-
about
you
to
mean
end
today?
the podcast, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
Okay.
joined.
You will cease to be joined by
I
us
was
very
all ready
soon.
to say my bit, and then I was just like, that processed in my brain. I'm
And then,
Jeff.
unlike the intro, Chowder decided to introduce himself.
I'm Jeff Leavitt. You can find me. It feels so pointless to keep pimping out my goddamn Instagram that I literally have not added to in months. But things I wish existed. There's a dot between each word. I've got a YouTube toy review channel that's Alchemist Prime Reviews, and that's all the places you can find me.
Hi, I'm Timul Chaudhary, or Chowder, whichever you prefer. You can find me on Twitter at Timul Chaudhary. I also run the Common Geeking program Twitter poorly, so you can...
How is our Twitter run? I don't have a Twitter, so I don't keep up with any of our social media. Do we have fans? I don't even know.
We do have followers, like 70 of them, which is
Cool.
a double-digit number.
That's true.
So is 10.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, who's the last fella here?
I'm Austin still.
Specific.
Yeah, if you, I don't know, I have social media, but I don't use it for anything that's relevant here. So if you find me, like, whatever, good luck.
Use it for
If you
bugs.
find him saying anything if you find him saying anything relevant, it is an imposter, and please report it.
Yeah, sorry, no, I just saw the thing that Pat. So yeah, that's it for me.
Guys, I saw Austin venting, so,
Oh my God.
All right, with that, we're gonna head on out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
What a tonally strange episode.
This episode of the Common Briefing program is hosted, as always, by me, Colin Ketchen, and I was joined by Jeff Leavitt, Timul Chaudhary, and Austin Liebers. This episode is sponsored by that weird feeling I get in my fingertips after I cut my nails. I don't know what it is, but I hate it all the same. This podcast is created and produced by myself and Jeff Leavitt, with this episode and its original music by me. Did all the editing and stuff. I also, for the first time, threw together show notes, which I'm going to try to do going forward. So if you heard anything here you're interested in, check out the notes, and you can always go to learn more. So we'll be back in 2 weeks talking about Tenet. You can check out commongeekingprogram.com for more. So stay tuned, and thank you for listening to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking take these coins that are next to me and just throw them far away, so I don't even have the option to fiddle with them.
I have thrown so many knickknacks away from me while recording. Like, it's the only option. Is to
I am yelling right now.
Yeah, no, Chowder, I do that too, where I'm like, I'll try to measure my levels for speaking, and I'm like, wait, I'm yelling 100% of the time. This is useless.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm like,